Hello everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how to connect and manipulate a Quasar science fixture in Assimilate Live Effects. This will work for any SACN compatible fixture from any other manufacturer. The directions are going to be roughly similar, just sort of the pre-built in patched in settings on the fixture might look a little bit different, and you would obviously need to get the profiles from the manufacturer. But this walkthrough is roughly the same for a lot of different manufacturers' fixtures, but today we're just going to be showing you how to do it with a Quasar Science fixture. So the first thing that you're going to do with a Quasar tube that you're patching into Assimilate Live Effects is we're going to step to the left here to Config menu. We're going to jump into that. We're going to take 2 steps to the left, and we're going to reset the fixture to default so we're starting from all the same settings. And as you can see, I'm on firmware update 0.9b, which is the most up-to-date firmware. So now we're going to step to the left again. We're going to enter the config menu again, but this time we're going to step to the right. We want routing on basic. That's going to default to that if you reset the tube correctly. We're going to step to the right. DMX channel, we're going to keep that at 1. We're going to assign 1 universe per fixture this time. We're going to step to the right, 20 pixels, that's good. That's the highest amount of pixels a 2-foot rainbow, double rainbow can be set to. We're going to step to the right. Profile, now we want to set the profile. If we step into the profile here and step back 3, we want profile 64, which is the 16-bit video profile. This is the default sort of recommended profile for Assimilate Live Effects. We're going to step to the right. Again, wired mode, we're going to set this to SACN, which is the Ethernet protocol we're going to be using today. We're going to step to the right again, and we're going to jump into Ethernet settings. And then we're going to make sure that the IP address mode is auto, DHCP. That's really important. That's just so we're not assigning our own IP addresses. We're going to step to the right again. Save DHCP as static. That's correct. We want that. We're going to step to the right again. Multicast enabled. We want that. Step to the right again. SACN merge off. For the purposes of this video, we're not going to be merging. So this is correct. And then we're going to step to the right. Input universe 1, that's correct. We want this universe 1. Every other setting is going to be exactly the same if you're setting up an array or you're setting up multiple fixtures. It's the input universe that's really important and delineates which fixture is which, not the channel number, depending on how you're programming it. But for our purposes, we're going to be doing 1 universe per tube just because it's a lot of data to be handling. And then output universe, we're not going to be outputting from this fixture, so we're going to keep that as 1 as well. We're going to double click on our power button here, and then we're going to go back to the main menu, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so next we got to connect the fixture to the computer, right? And we're going to be doing that with a USB-C to Ethernet dongle here. This one's made by TP-Link. It's kind of my go-to. I know that that company has, you know, different results for different products, but I think that this specific adapter is really good, and it's been my workhorse for 2 years now. So we're going to take this, and because this 2016 MacBook Pro does not have an Ethernet jack, we're going to plug this in. If your computer does have an Ethernet jack, then you can skip this step, and you can plug straight into Ethernet jack. We're going to take an Ethernet cable. This could be any cable. You can get a cable from the hardware store, whatever. I recommend higher quality cables for higher quality film sets, depending on what you're doing. But any Ethernet cable should be fine. We're going to just plug that in to the adapter right there. And then we're going to take the other side here. And then we're going to plug it into the, in port on the fixture. There you go. Okay, so now that we have the fixture plugged in, we can make sure that it's actually plugged in. So we're going to go to our network settings here on our computer, and this is a step that you got to do after you plug a fixture in and before you open Assimilate, right? So we're going to click on network here, and then we're going to be looking for an Ethernet network with a self-assigned IP. Yellow means that a network is connected but no internet is connected. That is good. We want that. We want a closed network that's not connected to the internet. And then as you can see, my configuration here, and if yours doesn't look like this, that's fine, but you want to be making sure that you're using DHCP. That's if you're connected to the internet and connected to a router that uses a DHCP server. If not, then you would create a manual IP, and that could be the standard static IP that the Quasars ship with. But the Quasar tubes can stay in auto DHCP mode because whether it's a DHCP server or a static IP, the Quasar tube is going to grab a IP address no matter what for with multicasting. So now that we have the self-assigned IP, this yellow sort of unconnected internet, then we can go and open Assimilate. Okay, now that we have the network set up and we have the tube patched, now we can actually go into Assimilate and then start outputting data to the tube. So this is a few steps, but it's really, really quick and easy. First things first, for testing purposes, I like to open the filler tab and then click on color bars 100. It's just a really good way to know that the fixture is working because you can move it around to these different colors here and know like when I'm over green, I'm getting green. When I'm over magenta, I'm getting magenta, so on and so forth. This can be any piece of media. It doesn't really matter. So this is what Stage Lights is going to look like when you first open it up. To create our network inside Assimilate, we're going to go over to the bottom left tab here and click on Protocols. Under Protocols, we're going to click on Output Multicast, and we're going to turn that on. Then we're going to click Use Adapter, and we're going to select our Ethernet adapter. For my video, for my purposes, it's always EN8. It could be EN3, EN4, EN5. It doesn't really matter. And then we need to sort of artificially create our universe range. So I always, for the purposes of any demonstration or video, I always set it from 1 to 50. So I kind of know that I'm never ever going to run out of universes. For the purposes of this video, we're only using one universe, but you can repeat the instructions in this video over and over and over again ad nauseum, and you could just keep daisy chaining double rainbow quasar fixtures, you know, from universe to universe to universe up to 50 if you want. So then we're going to import. We're going to click import, and if you go to the Quasar Science website, you can download our packet of Assimilate profiles for the Quasar tubes. We're going to come in here, we're going to click on an RR50, which is a 2-foot double rainbow. We're going to open that up, and then if you did everything correctly, then your fixture should turn on. So I'm going to actually go switch back to my iPhone, and I'm going to show you what this fixture looks like turned on. Okay, here we go. This is exactly where I left you guys off. The only thing I changed was I turned the fixture onto low output. And as you can see, the fixture is on. And as I move the power window over the color bars, I'm getting different colors coming up, showing that yes, this tube is in fact patched into Assimilate Live Effects. Now to just give you a quick walkthrough of what exactly we're looking at on here. So if you go to the fixture tab, now that your fixture is all patched in, we can scroll down to the bottom of the channel sampler here. At the top here, you can see these are the 16-bit range values for sampling colors. So this is how the fixture knows which colors to sample. That happens automatically. So we're going to scroll down, 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 and we're going to go to the global parameters. So these parameters are going to affect every single pixel on the fixture at once. So for example, if I go to output here and I switch it from low to medium to high, it's going to put the entire fixture or entire range of fixtures into low, medium, and high. Up here, the first range value, as you can see, is the base color temperature of the media that you're pumping through. I always like to set this to whatever color temperature the wall is if you're in a virtual production environment, as well as the color temperature of the camera that the cinematographer is using. So for a virtual production environment, that's usually 6,000 to 6,500. And as you can see, you could just type in whichever Kelvin value you want to default to. But let's just set this to 6,500. Plus minus green right here is green and magenta shift. 50% is no effect on the fixture. If you go up from 50, say 55%, you start adding some green in. And then if you go down from 50, say to 40%, you're pulling green out, so you're adding magenta. So that's really good if you just want to like kind of dial in the HSI of the fixture. Spectrumality here, this is just how much spectrum the fixture is using. So you can dump it down to 0 here, which is just the red, green, and blue diodes, or you can click it up to 100, and it is the full spectrum RGB WW diodes, and you can kind of hit any point from 0 to 100. This is really good for spectrum matching other manufacturers' fixtures. If you're not doing that, then keeping it at 100 is recommended. Down here is the color space sampler. Right now we only have 4 color spaces to choose from. RGBX is the built-in custom 16-bit profile, so it takes all the sort of sampling of the red, the green, and the blue here, and it takes the full gamut and outputs it. And then Rec 709 and sRGB, these 2 different flavors of sRGB, these are ways of sort of squeezing that gamut into something that the camera could recognize. For virtual production environments, RGBX is generally pretty good, especially if your wall is set to Rec 2020 or ACES or P3. It is roughly similar, not 100%. We will be adding those color spaces later to the fixtures, but for now, this is as close as you're going to get for a 16-bit color space. And then up here, Rec 709 and sRGB, if you kind of want to hone it into something that's going to look a little more natural to the human eye. I showed you down here output. We have 3 modes, low, medium, and high. And then if you want more granular control, you can go over to the left here to the mixer tab. You can click on that. And now you have control of a digital dimmer, which just dims the media underneath the fixture. So if we're at 1.0, which is 100%, and I want to go to 80, we go 0.8, and that's 80%. We go to 0.5, that's 50%. 0.25, that's 25%. 0.05, that's 5%. And then if we want it back up to 100%, 1.0, boom, there you go. So yeah, that's the basics of controlling the fixtures. You can then move this pixel map around. You can come up to the top of the arrow here and you can spin it around as much as you want. You can go over to the fixture tab here into color sampling, and you can start messing with precise locations, right? You can mess with the rotation, the input, the X, Y, width, height. Grade and animation here. This is if you want to mess with the grade and animation of the video underneath the fixture. So if you want to do a little bit of hue shift, a little bit of saturation, mess with the brightness, red, green, blue, this isn't affecting the actual DMX channels, but it is affecting the media that the fixture is sampling from. And then the color transform tab here gives you kind of like a rough approximation of any of these color spaces for the fixture. So I believe I've noticed this works a little bit better if you're starting at RGBX. But yeah, then you can, if your DP is being really specific and wants something a little closer to say like REC log, then you can do that. And that's all the basics of patching in and manipulating a Quasar tube. Thanks for watching.